Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my Sker Ritual videos. In today's video, we'll be going over the top 5 wonder weapons in Sker Ritual. And just before we hop into the video, guys, make sure you guys leave a like and you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And if you guys want to see more Sker Ritual videos that I upload on my channel and you don't want to miss it, be sure to click the bell as well to get notifications. Alright, so in the number 5 spot, we have the Shattering Edge, or the sword that can be found on the 4th map, which is the Deadly Lover's Fortress. Now, you'll notice in the background gameplay here, we're going to be using the tier 5 version of the weapon so that we're testing the maximum damage possibilities on the weapon just from the supercharger alone. You can actually also get these weapons from Lucky on any of the maps, so that's why you'll see me using all these different wonder weapons specifically on Lavernok in this video. But anyway, guys, yeah, you can see here that we are getting some kills on round 62 here, but the sword is really not that good at dealing too much damage, especially to multiple enemies, even if you're in a close quarters area. So you do need to be close quarters because, of course, it is a melee weapon. So if you are planning to use this on, let's say, for example, the final boss on the sewers map, which has a boss fight where the boss is like in the distance, you won't be able to attack him with this because it's a melee weapon. But more than just that, it doesn't really have a lot of damage capabilities with it. And you'll see that we're just barely getting kills here. Alright, and moving into our number 4 spot, guys, we have the Plague, which is the wonder weapon featured on the 3rd map, Sewers of the Dead. And once again, it can be obtained from spinning Lucky on any of the maps. So the reason why I put the Plague here above the sword is because it does also share the fact that it has a very limited range, because whenever you fire this weapon, it'll spark out in like purple fireworks, as I like to call it, or purple fire kind of sorta, but it'll just fall very quickly down to the ground after you've shot one shot. And all of those little fire pellets, I suppose we could call them, need to attack one enemy to deal the most amount of damage possible. So you'll see here in the background gameplay that we are really only doing one shot per one zombie kill. That's kind of how this weapon is made to be worked. If you tried to use the multiple pellets of fire to kill or damage multiple zombies, it's not really gonna work all too well for you. So this weapon definitely does suffer from range, and it definitely does suffer from dealing damage to multiple enemies, as it's really only focused on damaging one enemy at a time. But it definitely does need that supercharge in order to compete in the damage numbers, especially once you get to the higher rounds. So like right now, we are getting one shots, but later on into the rounds, I'm sure this weapon's going to drop off and it's not going to be nearly as powerful. All right, and so in our number 3 spot, we have the Thunderbolt, which is the wonder weapon on the 1st map, the Cursed Lands of Lavernok. Oh my goodness, if you are a classic Zombies fan and you looked at this thing, you would mistake it for the Wonder Waff. That's how close this weapon looks to it, and it performs very similarly. It does have some differences though, but it does perform very similarly. So why am I putting this here just above the Plague? It does have a little bit less damage than the Plague. However, its ability to kill multiple zombies, just like the classic Waff in COD Zombies, it still has that capability. And the way that you use this thing is you line zombies up and you just go for penetration shots. You go for some strong collaterals. The damage that this thing is capable of pumping out is so much. And not only that, but even so, once you'll get to the point of higher rounds when this thing does start to drop off, a couple shots that you line up perfectly is still going to do the trick. So it's still very, very powerful. And especially for a game where the more that you pack a punch, the more ammo you get, and there are like 2 extra tiers of Pack-a-Punch in this game than maybe Cold War zombies or Vanguard zombies. You do have that option of much more ammo, and ammo is super cheap in this game anyway. So if you're only taking maybe 2 shots extra just to fire off and kill a horde of zombies on one of the higher waves, it's still really powerful. Where this weapon does start to suffer, if you look at some of the other alternatives, is when you're going up against bosses. Yes, this weapon does have quite a bit of really high precision damage on bosses, but there are better alternatives. In the number 2 spot, guys, we have the Howler. This weapon is available on Ashes of Sker Hotel, as it's available also from Lucky, like I've mentioned previously. This weapon is so like the blunderbuss in terms of how it looks, but it actually doesn't work like a shotgun as you might think. This weapon actually is one of the most, I would even argue, the most precision-based wonder weapon that we actually have, because the projectile that it fires can get headshots. It's a very tiny ball. It's a very tiny projectile, and it can bounce off of surfaces as well, and it does have a little bit of penetration through targets as well. So you'll be able to get multiple kills if you line zombies up perfectly. So it's kind of similar to the Thunderbolt, but the damage is just way higher. The damage that this weapon is used not just on zombies, but also bosses as well. It's fantastic. Honestly, this one might be my favorite in the game. Although it's gonna have to contend very, very well against our number 1 spot, which you guys obviously know at this point. And if you're not familiar with this weapon, it is God Killer, the most powerful wonder weapon in all of Sker Ritual. This wonder weapon is available on any map, and the way to get it is you have to beat the normal Easter egg on the map, and there will be a small, I guess, weapon case, we can call it that. I've called it a closet sometimes. That's usually located in the boss room itself on the map, and you can purchase this thing. Obviously, you can get ammo for it like you can with any other weapon. It has 5 stages of Pack-a-Punch. This wonder weapon is a very, very unique wonder weapon in zombies, where you literally can reload this thing and put it away, and it'll just reload itself over time automatically. It's fantastic. The shots that it fires, it kind of reminds me of the Apothecon Servant, if you will, from Shadows of Evil, because it's got this big glowing ball of energy. You can get headshots with it. It does so much damage when you do get headshots, especially on bosses. And if you just fire this thing anywhere on the ground, any big hordes of zombies that are nearby are just going to get vaporized by this thing. It's that strong. It is by far the best wonder weapon in this game, and I don't see it changing for a while, honestly. It's so strong. The gun's called the God Killer, so suppose it's designed that way anyway. Anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for the video here. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all for 500 subscribers on YouTube. And also, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on what you guys think are the top 5 wonder weapons inside of Sker Ritual. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next video.